Going off our collar sleeve grip, we're going to look to get to close guard. Now, especially with the current rules, white belts can't jump guard. So this is a guard pull that we can use from the very start, okay? So, collar sleeve, these grips are important. I have to keep these all the way through. This grip, the collar, is going to help break his posture. This is doing a few things. One, it doesn't allow him to easily grab my leg. Two, it opens up the space for my foot on his hip. So if he has this in, one, he's going to catch my leg. Two, even if he didn't, there's no space for my foot to get to his hip. So when he grabs my collar, I keep it secure by holding hip. And when I do go foot to the hip, it's really important I don't do it in stages. It's not foot to the hip and then fall. That's going to be a common theme for most guard pulls. I already want to be falling before that foot even touches. And when I do fall, it's not right in front of him. This leg needs to be able to swing out and catch him in my guard. So when I fall, it's to my hip and around the corner. So this leg is swung out. It's like a big net to catch him in. My foot is on the hip. I pull my hips up to close the gap. I still have my grips. So I've broken his posture and I still know where his arm is. Hips up. I can use my foot on the hip to now pivot. This controls his posture even more. And the leg can come over the head. Only now will I let go of my grips and secure the wrist and then finish on my arm bar. So on my collar sleeve grip, important grips I can't let go all the way through. The side I'm controlling the sleeve is the side I'm going to step. So I have to be falling, not in stages, not here and then sit. I'm already falling, I fall to my hip, my other leg swings open. Hips up, I need to close this gap. If I try hitting an arm bar here like this, there's too much space, he saves his elbow. So hips come all the way up, pivot, and the leg comes over the head. I don't need to cross my feet here, I want to put pressure on his head, and then I can switch to the arm. On the other side, collar sleeve, I'm already falling. I catch him inside, the leg comes over the head, and then switch. One more. This guard pull is a very low level guard pull. We have had guys do it before with absolutely no grips and a run up. If you want, you can go and secure that collar first, just to keep him close and be able to pull yourself in. So I step in, close the distance, my other leg is going to shoot all the way through, like a half guard. I'm going to try and lock the back of my knee behind his heel. So now it's hard for him to step back. I can triangle this off, and my other arm is controlling his ankle. Elbow on the floor, I can now let go of the collar and hug the leg. Now just coming up to my knees, drives him backwards, and I can come up with the leg. So I can take my collar grip, I step in to close the distance, I drop in underneath, I shoot my other leg all the way through. Here won't cut it. One, I won't be able to triangle my legs as well. Two, I'm too far away from this leg. So I'm all the way through. I lock it off, control the ankle, hug behind the legs, shoulder in front, and then drive up to your feet. On the other side, I have my collar grip. I'm nice and low to begin with, rather than start it from here. I step in, close the distance, shoot the other leg through, and we're straight onto that ankle. That elbow on the floor, it makes it harder for him to step that leg back. And then I can hug behind, drive up. Just close the distance. One more. On this one, I want to aim for that belt. I'm going to have a palm up grip. Now, I could just go searching for that belt. If he knows I want that belt, on the first one, if I miss, automatically he's going to keep his hips away and he's never going to let me get that again. So what I have more success with is taking the collar and pulling him in, then catching that belt. And we're palm up, that's really important. So the way I do it, collar grip, I'm pulling him in, punching right in the guts, palm up grip on the belt. Just like the other one now, look. I close the distance, back into half guard, I'm going to tuck my elbow under his leg and it's going to lift. So I pull myself in, underneath, into half guard. My elbow is under his legs, I keep pulling on his collar. I lift with my elbow, all the way over, usually into side control. So I can go straight to that. If I miss it, I'm going to have a hard time getting it. So I can pull him in, catch that belt, palm up. As I step in, close the distance, this one shoots all the way through, my elbow tucks under his leg. Keep pulling on the collar, he's going to drop right over the top and you just lift him up with the elbow. Collar grip, pull him in, catch that belt, palm up. One more. Now on the canto armbar, when I pull guard, I can go straight into another armbar. Usually this one is when he has his grip. Not just any sort of grip, it has to be a little bit high. If he's down here on my collar, I have to try and get his wrist, his hand, up to my shoulder. So I can do that by usually picking it up. Here it's resting on top of my shoulder. Some guys like a grip over the top. That's perfect, I can go straight to that elbow. So if he is on the collar, I have to level change, I have to try and get his hand up to my shoulder. Keep this grip. Now I go find his collar. It could be the far one, it could be the near one. You watch Canto drill this, he uses the near collar. And what I want to do, this far leg is the one I'm going to aim to kick out. If I can bring some weight off of it, it's going to make it a lot easier. So I want to drag him forward a bit, take some weight off that rear leg. And as I sit, I kick that leg away. His posture is now broken, his arm is extended, and I climb up over his back. I could aim to get my leg over the head. I prefer putting it on the back of the head, forcing his head down, and then rolling belly down, and finishing here where he can't stack. If he does decide to roll, I can hug the leg and finish in a normal position. So off of his collar grip, I want it up on my shoulder. I can bump it up, I can drag it up. Sometimes if I'm looking for a wrist lock, he doesn't like it, he'll put it up top anyway, but I'm securing that elbow. Other grip is to the collar. Could be far side, near side, doesn't matter. But now I want some weight off of this leg. So I can take him for a walk a little bit here. My leg is ready to go to that far leg. I want to be just above the knee and I want to be able to stretch his leg away. His posture's broken, his arms extended, leg comes over, knees go together, and I look towards his feet. If I stay here like this, he postures up, he stacks me, and he ends up defending. So on my belly down, I go knees together, I turn towards his legs, and I can finish with the armbar. On the other side, he has his grip, bring it high to the collar, I stretch the far leg away, over the top, and end up belly down armbar. One more. Bring the grip high. So now we hit the Yoko Tomonagi. I hit mine left grip. So I grab collar left and I have his elbow underneath. This elbow grip is really important. At the sleeve, I don't think it works quite as well. With here, I can really fold this in and get that steering wheel action, okay? Now, what I have to do with the Yoko Tomonagi is one, get his posture broken. So if I can get him stepped out like this is much easier. And I want to get as close to this foot as possible. My head as close to that foot as possible. So not like a normal guard pull where I actually stretch him away and land here like this. I need to be underneath him. So, to break the posture, I'm going to twitch. I show this leg as if I'm going to foot sweep or turn him for a throw, and he steps away. When he steps away, my base is out as well. Now the foot goes to the hip. Same principle. I can't do it here and then fall. I have to be falling and then put it underneath. And it needs to be cocked, ready to lift. If I get to him with a straight leg, I have no lift. So I need to be underneath, along the belt line, ready to lift. And as this lifts, we turn. So I bring his arm in, and we fall off to the side. We can keep the grips and usually come up in a good position like knee on belly. I have my collar grip. Underneath on the elbow, I have my twitch. This is my foot sweep. You might think I'm pulling guard, but I get that step back. So as I twitch, I step out, that lowers my base, my foot to the hip, but I have to be falling already. So I fall with my leg already bent. And look at the angle, I'm close to his leg, I'm not out here. My leg is bent, so now I have lift. As I lift, I turn his arm inwards. Keep the grips and follow it up. So I twitch, drop in with a bent leg as close to his leg as possible. From the other side. Twitch, I've lowered my base, underneath, straight to me on belly. So sometimes when we try and hit our Yoko Tomonagi, we don't get underneath, he has his hips back. For some reason, there's no lift. So the same setup, I can stomp out, I try and get underneath, maybe straighten out his legs, or I have short legs or whatever, but let's just come this way. I have no lift. I can't get any more. So I'm still close to the leg. Let's give up the arm, take the leg, and now my free leg hooks behind his knee as I square my hips up. Now, I don't necessarily need this grip now. I don't necessarily need any grip. Perfect world, I'll go and find this sleeve. So his posture is really broken now. If he wants to stand up, it's very hard to do, like high elbow pull. I have his ankle, and I'm behind his knee. This is going to stop him basing. If I didn't have this behind the knee, he could step back. So I pull, kick, and pull. And I can use that momentum to stand up. So if I failed Yoko Tomonagi, I end up underneath but not able to lift. I'm close for the leg, I go find it, hook behind the knee, and then find the sleeve. If I didn't have the sleeve, if he managed to posture up and I couldn't get this, I can still hit the sweep. Just try and come up with the leg. Inside. So I try my Tomonagi. I'm up straight with the leg. Now when I hit my Tomonagi, it's going to be right over the top. Normal Tomonagi, not a Yoko or turning one. So it's going to come off him gripping. I want to act like I want to get rid of this grip. Not just with my hand, but with my whole body. So I start to move my hips back, lower my head, and start to pull this off. And what's going to happen? He doesn't want to lose that grip, and he starts to chase. So I'm getting a pulling motion. Same thing, I'm going to sit. As I get underneath him, I'm pulling, and then I get my foot to his hip. I just keep pulling over the top and ride it all the way over. So when he takes his grip, I have a grip on the other side. I want to act like I want to get rid of this. So my grip has to come over the top, and I'm trying to punch it down. Not just with my arm, I'm going to use my whole body to try and get it. Not only that, I'm going to make him chase. I'm backing off, and then as I sit, I pull open, and my foot goes to the hip. I keep pulling, and then at the very last second, everything goes back towards his feet. So my leg is cocked. I'm not here with a straight leg. I'm underneath him, and then I can follow through with the Tomonagi. He has his grip, I'm trying to break. On this guard pull, we're going to use his reaction to get the best out of the situation. I can do this by having a 2-on-1 grip. 2-on-1 could mean 2 hands on the wrist, the sleeve, or up on the elbow. 2 hands is obviously stronger than 1, so to break this grip, he's not just going to move his arm, he's not just going to resist with his arm, he's going to use his whole body to stop that from happening. So, as I get my 2-on-1, it could be off of his collar grip, I get rid of it, and I'm backing off. He doesn't like it, it's 2 hands against 1, he can't just use his arm, he's resisting with his whole body. And that's when I sit in, and I hook my feet behind. Now he has no base. As I let go of his arm, my hands go straight to his knees, this way there, and my feet shoot outwards. If I just push like this, he's going to find base just by stepping. So my feet have to be glued to his legs. So as he's resisting with his whole body here like this, I have to splay my legs out and try and catch something. I'm going to try and come up with a leg so he can't just roll away and counter. So if our 2-on-1 grip, I could be breaking the grip, I'm hanging heavy. 2 hands against 1. He's not just going to break that grip with his arm. So as I start pulling towards me and I sit, I'm hooking behind. He resists, and then I push just above the knees. My feet are always going out. I want to try and catch his feet as he steps away. And then we can come up with the sweep. Really hanging, I'm trying to get that reaction. And then come up with the legs. So when we take our 2-on-1, right away we can feel how much resistance this guy has given us. If I'm pulling like this and he really doesn't want to come with me, we can drop into the one we've just done. But sometimes he doesn't give that reaction. He just keeps walking towards you, which is perfect. So as I sit, I'm right underneath him anyway. So it's important, this hook is going to stay behind his knee here and my knee's in front. If I obviously put this through and he jumps right into mount, that's no good. So my hook is already in, my other leg is all the way through, and I can go right into single leg X or change off to X guard right away. Whichever finish you want to do here is up to you, but we're in a really good position right away. So as I take my 2-on-1, you'll feel it. If he really resists here, starts pulling back with his whole body, I'm going to sweep him that way. No resistance, and he just walks into it. I'm right underneath. I have a hook right away, my knee is in front, not behind him, and my other leg is all the way through. If I want to go to single leg X, I can. If I want to go to X guard, I can. Whether you overhook or underhook this leg is completely up to you. There's nothing wrong with landing here or here. From the 2-on-1. Straight away I can tell whether there's resistance. As I start to sit, he doesn't pull back, he just walks right in, and I walk right into my exit. Now our guard pull goes right into X guard. Off of my collar grip here, I close the distance with the opposite side leg. As I sit in, I'm aiming to get a butterfly hook, still keeping the knee in front. My other leg is going to kick all the way through, so it's closing the distance. As I sit, I'm also pulling him over the top of me. So as you can see, I'm right underneath him here. My other leg is all the way through, and I can put it back inside. The knee is going to stay behind, the foot comes inside. Again, with your X guard, we have all our different variations. I can easily switch off to single leg X, or I can attack right away from here. So from my collar grip, close the distance, I sit and pull him over the top as I get my hook in. The leg is all the way through, I can easily put it in. I have an overhook at the moment, it could be an underhook, and then you can finish with whatever finish you like. Collar, I step in, underneath, and pull him over. With this guard pull, I want to lull him into a full sense of security. When I grip here like this, I'm going to change the tempo. I'm not going to be aggressive. I'm going to be quite timid and just start to sit. Now look, when I sit, I'm falling to my hand and to my hip. So I want to land like this, not square. So my hand is posted, not on my elbow, definitely not on your shoulder, like this. I still have good drive off that back leg, so I'm not lazy like this. And my front leg is right in front, not stretched through like this. If he does move quick, I still need to be able to use this leg. So I have my collar grip. As I sit here, I need to do two things. Break his posture and make him come towards me. If he's backing off, I'm never going to find what I want. So I have to bring him towards me. I do it very slowly. I've broken his posture and I've made him step closer. Now, it doesn't matter which leg he steps with. Whichever leg is closer is the one I want. In this case, it's here, ankle pick. If he steps with the other one, even better. When I ankle pick here, I'm going to end up passing his guard as well. So as I catch that ankle, that my elbow is on the floor, it's hard for him to step back. I come up with that ankle and I'm past the legs. If I have the other ankle, I'm probably going to land somewhere in his guard. Collar grip, I fall to my hip, not square on my butt. I want to do two things, break his posture, make him step towards me. There's that leg. I'm posted on my hand, not on my elbow, definitely not my shoulder. My leg is still in front where I can bail out and use it. And my other leg is on the floor where I can drive up. To the ankle, as I pull, I get up and push. I've landed in between the legs and I can start passing. If I had the cross ankle, I'd already pass. Moving on from the ankle pick, I do exactly the same guard drop. So as I make him walk into me like this, let's say he starts getting a bit smart to it. So as I try and pick this ankle, he starts stepping away. Now it's really important that I use this grip correctly. I've broke his posture. So when he does step back now, he's really off balance. He's tipping over, he has no base in front of him, so now I post my hand, butt scoot underneath and pull hard. Some guys are going to face mark, some guys are going to give up everything to post with their hands, but I end up very much underneath it. Now I have butterfly guard. I can easily switch to single leg X, or I have X guard as well. So the same technique, he's going to take that ankle away from me. So as I sit, I go to snatch, I post, his posture is terrible, and I butt scoot in and pull hard. This is really common. He lands heavy on two hands, the legs will be light right away and we can attack instantly. As I guard drop, he takes the hand away, and we end up in whatever guard we want. The next one is essentially just a foot sweep. If we're quite upright like this is what I may need to do. I can add a little bit more power by cross-stepping. As I circle around, I pull hard and I make him step. I just have to block that. The problem with jiu-jitsu is no one stands upright. Everyone's out here. So we're going to do it with a drop. So I can do collar grip over the top. What works really well is killing this elbow by hugging here like this. So now I get good pull and I've pinched this arm. So when I do it, I'm going to cross step. I'm not crossing my feet. Turn my hips and then step. So I have my grip here, could be over the top, cross step, circle round, and as I go to tap this foot, I'm dropping to my hip, doing the motion here. And we land usually knee on belly. With the foot tap, it could be right here at the ankle, at the bottom of the foot. It may sometimes be here at the knee. You may even just boot their shins. As long as you stop that foot from stepping, you're going to get that foot sweep. So it could be collar, could be over the top. You could actually do it on this side as well. It doesn't matter. A really good grip is round the back, pinching that arm in. So cross step. As I circle around, I'm pulling hard. I'm trying to force that step. And then to tap it, rather than stay standing, we're dropping to the hip. And we just continue round with our steering wheel motion until we land on top. So usually they're going to have their hips out a little bit. When I'm upright, it's hard to get to that foot. So as I cross step, circle round, I drop to the hip, catch it low, and then come up. On the other side, there's my cross step. Now to our fake guard pull. There's a few different ways I can do it. Either way, I'm going to have this collar. I want to do the same thing as before. I want to break his posture. When I come down, I want to bring him with me. Now, I can help that by having a second grip as well. Usually he counter grips by grabbing my collar, and I can get extra pull from this. I want to do the same thing. I want to force him to come towards me. So when I'm pulling like this, it's doing two things. It's breaking his posture, and it's making him step. Usually when this guy thinks I'm guard pulling, he's on his heels anyway. He's almost falling over anyway. So to take the ankle pick is usually very easy. So I'm hanging hard like this. I show my leg and take it away. Again, there's different ways we can do this. I can put it behind me, down like this, like a traditional shot, and then switch to the ankle. Or I can drop to 2 knees. This one's good because he comes with me. Usually we're on a double knee drop like this. Look at his posture. He comes down even further. The important thing is I stay on my toes so that I can drive forward. If I'm flat like this, I have no drive. So if I do go 2 knees, I have to have my toes like this so I can drive. I change off from the sleeve to the ankle, push the collar, and come up with the leg. So 2 variations. I can show the leg, put it behind, and drive, or I can drop. That drop is really good to bring him down with you. So collar, I could have this floating. If he doesn't like this, he could be here like this. We can do the same thing. If I want extra pull, I can be on here like this. I'm going to show the leg, not so much, not so slow that he can go and find it. Needs to be quite quick. It's a quick fake, and I bring him down with me. Toes are on the mat so I can drive. I'm going to find the ankle. When it is the ankle, whichever one is closest. If he leads with this leg, and I cross grip on the ankle, I'm going to end up passing the guard again. But I take whichever one is there for me. So collar, I could double up on my grip. I want to break his posture, make him come towards me as well.